Jai Hind everyone.
Jane said,
Okay. Who is ready? Tanu is ready. Shraddha, keep time. We'll move with Tanu.
yes, sir, 1 second.
Can I start?
1 minute.
Okay.
Start.
Okay. So, good morning to all. Today, my topic is Uniform Civil Code. This, the Uniform Civil Code is a very important issue that cannot be neglected at all. It involves the idea of replacing personal laws with a set of common laws that are applicable to all citizens, regardless of their religious belief. The main objective of implementing a uniform civil code is to promote equality and justice irrespective of their religion or culture. Different communities follow different cultures, that is different community follow different laws, which vary from one religious community to another. Different rules govern matters such as marriage, divorce, etc. These laws are derived from our religious tradition, which reflect the diversity of our society. If we talk about the post colonial period, during the drafting of our constitution, prominent leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar pushed for a uniform civil code, but some leaders are also opposing this that time. But after discussion, it was included in Article 44 in the DPSP, in the part 4 of our constitution, as well as it was included in DPSP. They are not justiciable, and the Goa become the first state to adopt uniform civil code. In 1985, case came to light regarding UCC, that is Sahabano case, 1985. She was married and she was divorced after 40 years of marriage and 5 children, and she was denied maintenance. Her husband filed an appeal against this maintenance, and the five judges benches of the Supreme Court stated that regarding this matter, even Muslim women are entitled to protection under Section 125 of CRPC. Along with this, Supreme Court commented on Article 44. If a uniform civil code come, then it will work for the national integration and will provide better solution at the time of such conflicts. If we come to the present time, in March 2023, when a PIL was filed to get UCC passed, then Supreme Court stated that it is a wrong forum. Only the Parliament can make the law on it. So recently, PM Narendra Modi said that the India needs uniform civil code, and it always in BJP election manifesto it has been promised to be implemented.
30 seconds.
Along with this, India's 22 Law Commission of India from public and religious organization has asked for their views and ideas on UCC. Those who are interested can give their opinions till 14 July. So at last, according to my point of view, from an ideal state, UCC would act as a safeguard of citizen rights. Its adoption will be progressive. I think the need has arisen for having a common civil code for all citizens, irrespective of their religion. Thank you.
Uh,
Time.
this topic is likely to gain momentum as the elections are coming next year because there is some background. Um, some of the parties are opposing it, some parties silent on it, some parties may support it. But the holistic view or a neutral view, if you see, when we got independence, there was a need for one nation and one society. However, there were some problems. Even in the most dominant religion in India per se, Hindu religion, it needed some reforms. It was done. Hindu civil code was brought. But other religions like Muslim, triple talaq and all those things, just now we see that couple of years back, this issue people were not aware other religions, but it was a real injustice to the Muslim woman when they were having this draconian law or the religion provision that triple talaq was creating some stressful life for them, and now it is removed. It will bring some changes in times to come, But now, if you see uniform civil code, why it is needed? Because when we are in a democratic society, there are some civil laws which are applicable, but then thereafter some religious provisions, and if it is not creating rational environment, then it is a problem. Because where you get birth, it is not in your hand, but at least in a society where you are operating, you can have uniform provisions, similar laws. So that is the rationale behind it. And when in one country, if you have to force few things and it is not applicable across the board, then it becomes difficult for the law and order also. So government also sees from that point of view. When we are speaking on such topics, especially in SSB, then you have to be very careful without naming any party. Tanu, we are generally believing that military is a apolitical organization. So we generally don't name party or something. We generally say government. So government is looking for this, that, whatever. That is how you put across. Because if you name a party, it may give some kind of impression that the way you speak, you may be supporting that party or government, or you are against it. So this is how you have to keep balance. All candidates should take care when you are in SSB, especially. You should not be giving any impression that on whose side you are. What happens, because it gives little negative impression, if at all, if you take some side or you express vehemently that this is how things should be done, because there it is a test of personality. So if you express your views, express like a third person, which is rational, your viewpoint, and nothing which is getting biased towards any particular community or religion. But then, yes, some topics are very sensitive. This is one of them. It is not easy to express on such topics, because either side, if you express, there is likely to be some kind of message that you are on this side or that side. Good, Tanu. I think a lot of improvement. Your flow is good, and lecture rate is coming up good. Points are good. So only thing, now you read a report which is, I think, July. Till July the views were asked, so July is over. So you can accordingly modify that. Till July the views were asked. This is, I think, previous July. So
Yes.
citizens can participate on such issues, but after all, it is a democratic setup. Things will be debated in parliament, and thereafter law will be enacted. But a lot of people are of the opinion that we should move ahead now for uniform civil code. Okay, good. Who is next? Subodh? Okay. Tanu, keep time. Subodh can go ahead.
Good morning to all. Today's my lecture topic is CAPF. So, what are CAPF? CAP is Central Armed Police Forces, and it deals with the internal security problems. So, if I categorize CAPF, so there are seven CAPF forces. The first is BSF, then goes ITBP, SSB, CISF, Assam Rifles, and the NSG. So there are some different there in which this CAPF forces has been established to deal with some specific problems. Like if I talk about the CRPF, so CRPF deals with the Naxalism, as well as it is also posted in the Kashmir areas to tackle the infiltrations. CRPF was set up in 1939, and the current DG of CRPF is Dr. Sujay Lal Hausan. Now, if I talk about the ITBP, so ITBP was established in 1962, and the current DG is Dr. Anish Dayal Singh. ITBP deals with the ITBP ITBP remains on the border of Indo-China to deal and to restrict the aggressive aggressions of the Chinese. Like it was established in 1962, and we have fought a war with China in 1962. So it shows that how important the CPF forces are. Now, if I talk about the Assam Rifles, so Assam Rifles, the administrative work of the Assam Rifles are under the Ministry of Home Affairs, but the operational work is under the Ministry of Defense. The current DG of Assam Rifle is Pradeep Nair, and Assam Rifle posted on the border of Indo-Myanmar to deal with the counter-infiltration operations and to successfully carry out the evacuation operations and to deal with the counter-insurgency in the Indo-Myanmar regions. Now, if I talk about the CASF, so CASF was set up in 1969, and the current DG is Shilvardhan Singh, IPS Shilvardhan Singh. And CASF deals with to protect the nuclear power plants, to protect the monuments, to protect the buildings. Similar goes with the BSF. We all know that BSF is very important force, and the current DG is Nitin Agrawal. There are some of the problems in CAPF, like according to the survey, 1,526 CAPF persons committed suicide. So there are some drawbacks, and how we can overcome the drawbacks, like set up a redressal committee, set up a de-stressing committee so that the Jawans would be feel very much secure by promotion or by if they are undergoing any stress kind of situations. The infrastructure is poor. That is the one need that we should improve in CAPF. So lastly, I want to conclude that, and according to my opinion, there are some drawbacks in CAPF, and we need to improve it in a very systematic way. Like we should avoid the bureaucratic personals to be the head. Like the IPS is the current head of the all the CAPF forces, so we should remove it. And until or unless our uh, internal structure is good, internal structure is strong, so we would not get any kind of we will not be vulnerable to the outsider enemies if our internal structure is good, and that is the work of CAPF. Thank you.
Good, Subodh. CAPF is a beautiful setup. You see, our country has got so many good institutions, good structure to govern. There is a bureaucratic setup in which civil administration, police administration, we have got good judiciary, we have got people's representative in the form of politicians, and we have got military, which is looking after their own sphere. There are these beautiful setups where we need some kind of evolution, reforms as the time progresses. When these paramilitary forces for the internal security were raised, probably in the initial stage, it was appropriate to have heads from already established organization, that is IPS cadre. But now these organizations are becoming quite old. They have got their own people who can now rise to the level of heading it. I think the time has come. The same cadre people should uh, now head these organizations, because the resentment, if it gets into undercurrents which sets in because of anybody from outside and governing it, may not be knowing the problems. A person who has risen from the first post and rises high, and that person is likely to have more idea about the problems, the mindset, and there are many advantages to have such person as a head. So I think one point which Subodh was saying, the IPS cadre now should not be heading it, and their own cadre should be heading it. That is a very relevant point, and most of the CAPF now demanding it. Secondly, their welfare measures are quietly improved, and adequate provisions are getting up to have akin to the armed forces, army, air force, navy, like canteen facilities or the pay and perks, their leave model, everything is improving. And these organizations are doing wonderful job, especially some of the organizations which are working in very stressed environment, the Naxalism area they are handling. So there is no doubt on their caliber, capability. It is matter of how we trust them, give them training, uh, put them in the position and show them their pride, and they will prove it. So these organizations, when we talk about, we should be talking from the democratic point of view, where no organization is above the other organization. Every organization has got their own specific role, and that is how their role becomes very important. Like in the internal Naxal problem, we have got our own internal organizations. CRPF is handling it well. If support is required, other organizations can support them. CISF is doing good duties, because all are security related duties, and internal security itself is a big domain. External security is against the enemy from the across the border. So this is how this specific role. One organization which we can specify how it has now transitioned into different domain is Coast Guard. Coast Guard, initially it was having little role. Now the role is improving. It is coming up to the naval joint exercises, and support for the Indian Navy is amazingly proving Coast Guard their caliber, their capability. Even they have got now their own aviation wing. This is how these all organizations are proving that they are good professionals and the country is proud of them. Okay, Subodh, uh, good topic. I think first time in a broader sense CAPF is spoken about. Who is next now? Sanjivani?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Subodh, keep time.
Yes, sir. You can start.
Good morning to everyone. Today, my next topic is woman empowerment. There is a no chance of welfare of the world unless the condition of woman is improve to not it is not possible for a bird to fly one of is in one wing. Swami Vivekananda say need for woman empowerment even in this 21st century. Gender inequality still exists. There are so many women who are silently bring their harassment from their life partner and other because of lack of education, lack of legal awareness, and lack of empowerment. When women are empowered, whole society benefits become consist half of the society. Educating women about healthcare promote help their families. Even through women's work to raise their children and to maintain their families, they are not getting enough recognition for house choose and home maintenance. Even a government act for women empowerment is section 14, the Hindu section act 1956. Poverty of female Hindu to be their absolute power, absolute poverty. Our dowry prohibition act 1961, commission of sati act 1986, protection of women from domestic violence act 2005, also child marriage act 1929. Government schemes and programs to empower women. First is Beti Bachao Beti Padhao to eliminate female and to promote education for girls childs. uh, Sarva Shakti Abhiyan for girls' child education. It lead to increase the uh, gender indexed. And so maternity benefit schemes. Payment of 500 to pregnant woman for the first two births only if the woman belong to below poverty line category. First of all, women must have the will the independent and to be the best version of
Last
themselves.
30 seconds.
For government and societies also need to compare the discrimination women face to their lives. So lastly, I want to conclude that we have to come so far in women empowerment. How now many women working in a diverse career and are financially independent, but still we have a long way to go. We need to totally eliminate gender inequality. The government
Time
and
up.
we people have responsible to towards women empowerment, and we can achieve this development goal definitely. Thank you.
Okay, Sanjivani, as spoken, even in 21st century, if we are talking about women empowerment, or if there are some shortcomings, I think we need to be very serious about it, because we started our journey well. Even during freedom fight, we had some women cadre. Even in Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose army, there was women representatives. And if the women have been proving that they are at par, then there is no question that we are getting little late in bringing them into all kinds of fields. So that is how we are witnessing also, like Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, politics. Yes, the reservation bill is coming up so that their adequate representation comes. into the politics also. So all these areas, capability no problem, and their talent is enough proved. So there is no question that they should not be participating. Yes, they should be participating. Reservation provisions are for that only, so that their representation improves. But now it comes, when can we, after some time, like uniform civil code we are talking, can we have something like equal merit based representation, right from education till job? Everywhere we should have one nation, one kind of setup like law. So students also are not discriminated. In job also, people are not discriminated based on anything, whether it is caste, religion, gender. Only merit should be criteria. But I think it will take some time. Okay, Sanjivani, good. Well spoken. Any doubt? I think today we have less representatives to speak. Okay, with today's short session, we can conclude. Good. Keep studying, keep improving your personality, improve your reading base, read variety of things, have your time plan, schedule. Your every day is an asset. Every day brings improvement. So that thought process will see change in you. You should find something positive at the end of the day, that this was the day with which I could gain this, whether it is knowledge, friends, some kind of activity. Have this kind of spirit every day. Of course there will be ups and downs, stress and entertainment. All these things will keep moving. Your inner motivation is more important, and that should be your driving force. With this we'll conclude today. Bye. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Thank